Making the decision to rehome a pet is never an easy thing to do, and there's obviously added challenges that come with rehoming a reptile in pet chameleon. So I'm going to be giving you guys some tips and tricks for rehoming your chameleon. So first things first, I want to offer you a virtual hug because I know it's never an easy decision to rehome an animal, especially a pet chameleon. So I just want to offer my sincerest, hugs and condolences and just say like, hey, I know this is a hard thing, but hopefully we can kind of talk through some different things you can do to try and make the process as smooth as possible. So I would first encourage you to post in local groups as well as chameleonforums.com. There you'll find tons and tons of experienced reptile keepers, specifically chameleon keepers, and there's a really good opportunity to try and find someone who would be interested in taking on your chameleon. In your post on there, make sure you're including your location, pictures of the chameleon, any health issues or behavioral issues you've noticed. If you're including the enclosure with the rehoming, make sure you include all that information as well. The more detail, better. Obviously, try and keep your personal life details out of it, internet safety, all that good stuff, but your general proximity or the biggest city next to you or something like that would be totally appropriate. If not the chameleon forums, you can also look at your local reptile Facebook groups. I would just try and avoid things like Craigslist, as that tends to not have as high caliber of chameleon keepers, but obviously do what you gotta do and do what feels right for you. Additionally, I would make sure you're charging some sort of rehoming fee. People ask me all the time how much they should charge, and that's really dependent on the kind of chameleon you have and if you're including the supplies and everything. If you just have a field chameleon from Petco, you're probably not going to be able to charge very much for a rehoming fee versus if you have some like super rare species of chameleon, right? And keep in mind the rehoming fee is not to get your money back, because otherwise someone would just go buy a chameleon at full price elsewhere, but more so to discourage people who aren't taking this seriously, so that rehoming fee kind of attracts people who are willing to put a little money up front, but also make sure that they're taking care of your little guy. Also, when you're including all of the enclosures and stuff like that, make sure you give lots of detail as to what's included, and recognize that if you have a UVB bulb, that you're including like how old the UVB bulb is, you're including a misting system, plants, etc. Which is why like a local pickup is probably a little bit easier than shipping your chameleon. Speaking of shipping your chameleon, I personally have zero experience shipping a reptile, so I am in no place to try and offer any advice on how to do that, but I know there's tons of different resources available on the internet on how best to do that. I'm just not the right person for that, so if you're unable to find anyone local or you do want to decide to ship your chameleon elsewhere, that's your decision. I just know I can't give you any advice on that. But the gist of it is, try and find someone who has chameleon experience, or if nothing else, like has the knowledge. It's totally fine to kind of quiz them, ask them about their care and knowledge on supplementation, UVB. It's usually a good way to try and weed out who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't, honestly. And then just charge that little bit of a rehoming fee. And again, I am so sorry that you're having to go through this, whatever your circumstances may be, that you're considering rehoming your chameleon. But hopefully this is a little bit helpful on getting you started on where you can best find a home for your little guy. And for anyone who's interested in me taking their chameleon, I get asked all the time if I'll take someone's chameleon. I just want to say right now, I am not interested in taking in any chameleons right now. I just don't have the means, and I know once I take in one chameleon, then I'll just be a full-fledged chameleon rescue, and that's not something I have the ability to take on right now. Maybe when I'm an old retired lady with nothing but time and love to give to some chameleons, then I'd be able to do that. But at this point, I am not taking any chameleons, so I'm sorry, but there are definitely lots of people out there who would be more than happy to take care of your little guy or girl. So there you guys have it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave any questions or comments down below. Feel free to subscribe so when I post a new video. Follow Neptune and all my chameleons on social media at Neptune the Chameleon. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will have a description. Well, I guess if you're rehoming your chameleon, you probably don't need any discount codes. But if you're watching this just for funsies and you do want a discount code or to book a video call with me, all of that will always be linked down in the description box. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Neptune! Whoa! Well, that's more want me to stop doing that? You good?